So back in 2006 through 2009, I was a little twerp-ass kid. I played a lot of Runescape. My friends played as well, and I had these two friends who were twins, and they got up to some sketch stuff together. They loved PKing and would always regale me with stories of their exploits, but I remember one of their favorite things to do was just go to Lumbridge, they find noobs, and be like, hey guys, want to see something really cool? And then lead them deep into the wilderness and just slaughter them all. It's not like they got any good loot out of it. I think they just like to kill. Well, one of these twins, I'll call him Austin because that's his name, was especially tool-ish. So me and my friends had gotten really into merching, and this was before the Grand Exchange, so we would go to World 1 in Varrock and just hang out and buy and sell rune items for like 1k margins. You just, wait for somebody who's a little impatient to buy or sell something, you can get a little bit of a profit. But Austin didn't have the patience for that, so while we got into merching, he got into scamming. I actually got to watch him perform a scam live at one point. I was hanging out at his house, and he logged into RuneScape and demonstrated this one. So what he did, he got an iron scimitar and a rune scimitar. So iron and rune have really similar color. Like, I'd gotten them confused many times. I'd be walking around and be like, oh my god, is that a rune hatchet on the ground? And then run over and pick it up. And, oh, it's just iron. So yeah, he'd have the two scimitars, and he'd convert them to note form, which would make the icon smaller, so it's even harder to visually distinguish them from each other. Then you go trade with someone who wanted to buy a rune scimitar. So in a normal trade process, it would have gone like this. The trade window appears, he offers the rune scimitar, they offer the cash, they mouse over the rune scimitar to see the text that appears when you hover over an item, so they can verify that it is a rune scimitar, and then they move their mouse down to click accept. He clicks accept, and then confirmation trade window appears where all the items traded are locked in and are shown as text instead of icons, and then both parties ideally double check the items being traded, and then click accept again, trade complete. What he would do is basically guess when they move their mouse cursor down to click accept after hovering over the scimitar icon in the first trade window. So while the cursor is in transit down to click accept, he would quickly swap the rune scimitar for the iron one. He had to swap it before they click accept, because if the trade changes after clicking accept, they have to click the accept button again and will know something's up. So he said you get a feel for the timing after doing it a few times, and usually get another chance if you mess it up, because you can just decline the trade and say, whoops, I misclicked, and then trade them again. So once he made it successfully to the second trade window, he just hoped that they're in a hurry and don't double check the text. And if he gets lucky, they accept the trade, and he gets a free 35k, which I think that's how much rune simmies were back then. So I watched him pull this off live, and he successfully, scammed the guy, traded an iron scimitar for a rune scimitar worth of money. And you'd think after he successfully pulled it off, he'd want to quickly log out, hope they don't notice they have the wrong item until it's too late to report him. That's not what happened. The moment the trade went through, the other guy just politely, thanks, and Austin goes, ha, scammed you, noob, ha, sucker, enjoy your iron scimitar, thanks for the free money, ha, sucks to be you, ha. Actually, I don't think sucks would have gone through the censor back then, but he improvised, he got the point across. Anyway, he just lambasted this guy, and the other guy got pissed, and was like, do it tough, dude, give me my money back, do it tough, I'm gonna report you. Reported, better give me back if you don't want to get banned. Austin didn't care. He just harassed this guy. He followed around for like 5 minutes, making fun of him, laughing at him, until the other guy finally logged out. And then Austin logs out, switches the world. He's like, time to find another victim. I got the feeling he wasn't doing it for the money. He tried it on everyone too, like all our friends. He got a mutual friend with it actually, and he played it off as a joke, but he wouldn't give the money back because he was like, he deserved it for falling for that. And he tried it on me multiple times. Oh my god, it felt like every time I traded with him that he tried to scam me. It was so annoying. It's like, can you just trade normally? And I was too paranoid to ever fall for a scam. I always triple checked every trade, but I knew people who did fall for scams a lot, and a couple of times random people tried that same trick on me, and I was just like, yeah, I know that one. Nice try. So yeah, Austin, he did it all. He lured noobs, he scammed, he bought it at one point, he did everything. He'd be like, hey, let's go PvP, and he'd convince me eventually, because I didn't like to PvP, I never did it, but he convinced me to come along, and as soon as we get into the wilderness, he tries to kill me, and I just teleported out, and he's like, if you didn't have the teleport, I would have gotten you. It's like, well, thanks, dude, really want to go hang out with you some more now. But I do have a couple things I owe him for. This first one, I'm going to take a bit of a tangent to explain it. When I first started playing RuneScape, I didn't know how to type at all. Like, except for typing cheat codes in Age of Empires, I never had a reason to type. I didn't use MySpace or have an email address or do anything social online. So when I first started playing RuneScape, I could barely talk to anyone. I'd see someone and spend like 5 minutes trying to say hi. Where's the H key? H. Where's H key? Okay, I'll just start at Q and work my way left to right to find it. Seriously, why are keyboards not arranged in alphabetical order? It's impossible to find anything in a QWERTY setup. But there were a lot of kids like me who played. So like a typical conversation would go, "Hi." "Hi." "Sorry, I'm a slow typer." "It's okay, so am I." As I played more, I noticed other players used this like special typing style where they shortened or replaced words with letters or numbers, like the letter U instead of the word U, or the number 2 instead of any variation of the word 2. My favorite was shortening plate body to plate bod with the number 8. I immediately started to do that as well because, that's a big deal for someone who takes 5 seconds to type one letter. Every letter counts. I put a lot of time into developing the most efficient typing style possible after that. Example, whenever I logged in and saw friends, I usually message them, "Where are you?" so we could meet up. And then this became, "Where are you?" And then later just "Rue." I would explain to new friends what that one meant. I actually discovered some swear words because of this and RuneScape's censor. I remember one time trying to shorten the phrase "come here," which I would say a lot to friends when deciding where to meet up. I couldn't shorten "here" because that would give me "her," which already existed as a word. So I tried to shorten "come" by dropping the E, which of course got censored because jagex doesn't want people to spam websites. No problem, I'll replace the O with the U, and that'll be phonetically correct as well, great. But then that got censored. I was like, that's not even a real word, I just made that up. By the way, anyone remember trying to get swear words past the censor? Like at $, $hole. Hey, that one works. Cool, let's try this other one. Anyway, so I was going around using my ultra efficient typing style for a couple years till one day I'm walking around with my friend Austin. I say something to him and he stops and says, "When you talk to me, use complete sentences with proper grammar and correct spelling or I'm not going to respond." I got kind of pissed. I had put all this work into being as efficient as possible, and I lose so much time typing like that. I tried to explain it to him, but of course he didn't respond. So I knew he was really stubborn and always had to get his way. So I relented and started typing normally. So thanks, Austin. If it wasn't for you, I'd probably still be using LeetSpeak. Then this other thing I got from him, it's just kind of impressive, honestly. One day I log in at Grand Exchange, because that existed now, and Austin logs in to meet me there. And he's black. So he's of European descent, extremely white. And I had this thing that your in-game character should reflect your real-world self. So by his character having the wrong skin color, he was basically lying to everyone who saw him, in my eyes, right? So I asked him, I'm like, why are you black? You're not black. And he says, "Look around. How many people do you see here with dark skin?" And I look around. It's the Grand Exchange, so it's pretty crowded. But I don't see a single person with dark skin besides him. Then he says, "See, it doesn't matter how rare or expensive your gear is. You'll always find someone wearing the same thing as you. The only way to truly be unique in this game is to have dark skin." I was actually so impressed by this observation, I went to the Makeover Mage myself the next day.